As Chuck AOP recommended on
Oh
Tuesday, I
yeah.
made myself an old fashioned with American bourbon. But, because I can't be normal, I also added the Goldschlager that I have left over from my last Olympics cocktail. And I guess it's now a cinnamon old fashioned. I have not tried it yet, but let's see.
All right. I don't know about cinnamon old fashioned.
No,
Oh yeah. What?
I think I may have ruined it.
Cinnamon and old
I'll
fashioned. I
mix
don't
it.
know. I don't know.
I thought it might like work because of like brown liquor. It's kind of warm and maybe like the things would go together and the orange might offset it, but I don't think it's a win.
Look,
I wouldn't do it again.
I,
I'll drink it,
I
but I'm not gonna
defer to
do it
your
again.
better judgment. But as soon as you said cinnamon and bourbon, I didn't. Yeah. I don't know.
But you can do like a nice bourbon spiced apple cider thing in the fall, and that's got cinnamon and nutmeg and all of those flavors and stuff, and that
But
usually works.
yeah, I think the appleness of it though, and something
Is
to,
what pulls it
yeah,
together, as
yeah,
opposed to the citrus in this,
right.
which was
Oh
too
yeah,
much acid.
yeah, yeah.
There it is. There it is. What are you drinking?
As folks can see, am still in the actual studio here at Marketplace because I had some stuff to do, so I'm having water because I have to drive home. That's it.
Ah, fair, fair, fair.
Boring, boring, boring. Let's take a
Good for
quick
you.
spin through the comments, should we? Shall we?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right, right up on my screen right there. Jim Deasy, enjoying a Stone Hazy Delicious. I could do a Hazy Delicious right now. Man, that'd be good. That would be very good.
Bob is drinking a red blend from Mendoza, a Tinto Historica. Let's see. And
Oh
what
no.
else?
Mary
Somebody
Lynn
else
Baker.
has a Goose
Sorry, go ahead.
Island Bourbon County Brand Stout 2018,
That,
15.2% alcohol
oh,
by
only gonna have
volume.
one of those, right, pal? Mary Lynn Baker having a Paxlovid cocktail with a Diet Pepsi chaser. Oh, I'm sorry. If you've got the strain of COVID that I had, I am so sorry.
Yeah,
Holy cow.
I am a couple weeks out from like as soon as the new COVID shot is drops, I'm gonna be getting it because I know that somebody only has to look at me with COVID and I get it. So I
You,
will be
you,
getting the vaccine
you
as
know
soon
what?
as I can.
Sorry, you know what I didn't realize is that you should rather wait a while after you've had COVID to get
Mm-hmm.
a booster. I
Yes.
was not aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see, I had it right before we went on vacation. So that was
Mm-hmm.
middle of July. So I got to wait a little while. And I'm not, yes, I have some immunity, I suppose, but I'm not psyched about waiting. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Steph Courtney says she's tried an experiment, thanks to my inspiration. I love it. Whiskey, not quite soda syrup, fresh thyme. That sounds good. I
Hmm.
like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Blackberry Aldi Seltzer that Mighty Unlikely has. And Tyler is about to mix themselves a
Nice.
Manhattan.
Very good.
Like
Very good.
it.
All right, let's do the news.
Like
What do
it,
you
like
got?
it, like it. I, you know, I have this story from the Washington Post, and there's like the basics of it, and then there's the reason I picked it. So the headline is $167.3 billion in student loan forgiveness. Subtitle, as of May 21st, the Biden administration has lowered education debt for 4.75 million people. And it strikes me, we're going to hear so many narratives about broken
Mm-hmm.
promises and what was and was not accomplished during the Biden administration in this campaign, promises of what can be done. And there are numbers that
Mm-hmm.
can be seen for a lot of these things. And we've talked a bunch about how many of the things that the Biden administration has done will not, sort of reach fruition. And your Breaking Ground series this week is a perfect example of that, of all that investment in broadband. We're not going to see the results of it in time for Biden
Yeah.
in
Oh,
particular
yeah.
to take credit for it, but even in time for Harris to take credit for it. But there are some things that have happened. I was doing a little bit of research the other day because it occurred to me we're 2 years into being able to buy over the counter hearing aids, which was
Has it been
such a
two
huge
years? Holy
deal.
cow. Wow.
Yeah, it was such a huge deal when it happened because this was such a barrier for people. And I looked and, the Government Accountability Office says it's too early to see whether or not it's improved access because they're still kind of expensive. But like that is
Mm-hmm.
a thing that is normal now. And there are millions of people who have seen some kind of student loan relief. And I know we often sort of talk about, political changes and it's like, but Congress really needs to do something. At the end of the day, Congress has to do something. But administrations do have power. And for that 4.75 million people that mattered. And it's interesting that the narrative kind of still remains that Biden was not able to achieve student loan forgiveness
Yep.
because his signature programs have been stopped by the court. And yet, by tweaking at the edges, there's still been some relief for millions of people.
Yeah, I think that's right. And also, I think it's just confusing to people because they see
Mm-hmm.
reports like the one you cited and others from the White House that say, listen, we are reducing student loan debt for millions and millions of people. And then the news articles are Biden's plan overturned by the court, and take your pick on the court,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think people just have kind of tuned it out. And the net effect is they don't think he's done anything.
Yeah, Jeff Utz in the chat says, I got my student loan relief thanks Joe Biden.
There you go.
Real people.
Yep.
I know there's some folks here at Marketplace because we are a nonprofit who were able to use that sort of slice of it to get some student loan forgiveness. And, it matters.
Yeah, totally does.
All right, what you got?
All right, so mine, it's a little geeky, but it's kind of important, and it's cued off this indicator that came out from Freddie Mac, the giant mortgage conglomerate, this week. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage now sits at 6.35%. And at the beginning of the year, it was well over 7.8%. So those rates have been falling now for, where are we, August, almost 9 full months. And here's why that's relevant. The Federal Reserve, as we all know, is widely expected to cut interest rates at its September the 18th meeting. And it's going to cut them by either a quarter of a percentage point or a half a percentage point. But what's been happening both in mortgages, which is a very interest rate sensitive part of this economy, right? The housing market, but also in equity markets and in the bond market, is that traders are pricing things in. They have already adjusted their expectations for what's going to happen in the market based on thinking the Fed is almost certainly now going to cut. And I mention that because the day the Fed cuts in the middle of September, it's going to be, number one, a huge deal. It's going to be all over the news. We're going to lead Marketplace with it. I can tell you that because it'll be the first cut in 5 or something years. But I don't anticipate that the market reaction, other than a couple of 100 points either way, is going to be that big because it is priced in. We have known for a long time, because Jay Powell and the members of the Federal Open Market Committee have been telegraphing this move. They have been saying, as soon as we can, we're going to cut interest rates. And then Powell at the Jackson Hole Summit last week said, time has come. We all know it's going to happen, and the markets have adjusted. So in the middle of September, do not expect huge moves because it is priced in. So there you go.
But do expect a lot of political narratives
Oh my God.
about,
Oh, yes.
especially
Oh, holy
coming
cow.
from the Trump campaign. I can tell you right now that they will say that the Fed is cutting interest rates and it's a political move to improve the chances of Harris winning the election. That is what they are going to say. That is not true.
It is exactly what he said in 2015 when Janet Yellen was cutting rates, and that's a lie. It's just a lie.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting about the sort of telegraphing that this was coming. I've been listening to that telegraphing just like everybody else for weeks now. And I'm like, gotta get a CD, gotta get a CD, gotta get a CD before the rates go down. And when I first started looking, they were at like I think I saw one for 5.5. And what I finally ended up getting when I got up early this morning to finally do it was 5.1.
Oh, well, 0.4%.
It's not bad.
Not
It's
terrible.
not bad.
Not terrible.
5.1 for 10 months.
There you
I'll
go.
take it. I'll
There
take
you
it.
go. Free money, baby. All right, that's it for the news. Quick break, and then a round of this or that. Here we go.
All right, we are back, and now it is time to play This or That, hosted by the wonderful Drew Jostad. Take it away, Drew.
All right, for Labor Day weekend, we have sort of a timely version of This or That, but I have been asked to keep it moving. So we have 30 seconds per question.
Oh, my God.
I think that means for us to keep it moving.
Yeah, I'm not a slow decision maker, but anyway, go ahead.
All right, we'll go with your gut on this
All right.
one. First one, murder ball or paraswimming?
Murder ball.
I mean, Chuck came on the show. It's got to be murder ball.
Murder ball. There you go. That was like 15 seconds.
All right,
Boom.
Yeah.
there we go. For Labor Day, you're doing would you rather a barbecue or a clam bake?
Barbecue.
clam bake.
Really? Discuss briefly.
I love seafood. I love shellfish in particular, and especially here in the Mid-Atlantic, it's really good. Barbecue feels more like a early summer, spring thing to
Uh,
me. I don't know why, and this may be a cultural thing. I just have this like idea of like barbecue and white dresses, which I know makes no sense,
what?
but is a very distinct cultural thing. I think it's Southern, but also Midwestern, and so barbecue exists kind of more early summer, spring for me.
Fair enough.
I know I can see you're so confused about why you would wear a white dress. Have you ever
Right?
seen the movie
I mean,
Gone
I
with the
didn't want to
Wind?
be all, what are you doing? But okay.
And
But
not to like lean into antebellum,
hmm
narratives about
hmm
slavery, but there is a scene in Gone with the Wind where she's wearing a white dress to a barbecue because by keeping your white dress clean at a barbecue, you show how much of a lady you are. And that has sort of lasted. And so like I have very strong memories growing up of like wearing white to barbecues. You see a lot of white parties in the spring and even to this day, like I'll go to a barbecue and people won't even say to wear white, but you'll show up and like half the people are wearing white.
that
It's
is
like baked
so
in.
interesting. That is so interesting. All right, Drew, go ahead.
Next
Wow.
one, Brat Summer or Demure Fall.
Oh, look, I know we're switching games here, and I'm adjusting midstream. Half empty. How about that? On both.
Demure falls because I'm a reporter and try as best I can not to take and absorb Brat Summer any more than I have to.
Is there somebody who could? So Brad Summer is what's her name, XEX, and Harris co-opted it, and it got all kinds of traction virally. Can somebody help me understand where the demure thing came from?
Oh, so this is an influencer on social media. I forget her name, but she posted she's a trans woman and she posted a video talking about how she does her makeup and her hair for work. And she said, "You see how I'm not like doing too much. I've got like really nice makeup. I have a little braid on my hair. It's very demure. It's very mindful. It's not too much." And it's sort of like this it's a joke about sort of not overdoing it by, kind of putting on like your club makeup and
Gotcha.
clothes when you go to work. And
Gotcha.
she's like, "Don't show up for the job the same way you showed up for the interview." And just the way she delivers it is very funny. And so everyone's been adopting this, and she's made so much money off of it that I guess she's now able to afford to pay for her transition surgery. So
Oh wow,
you can
that's
make
super interesting.
money off a trend.
All right, so that's cool, and thank you for explaining that. I just need to be really clear here. It was never meant to juxtapose with Brat, right? It just kind of the memes just
No,
followed
they
each
just
other. They were
exist.
not the same.
No, they're not
Okay.
the
All
same.
right.
Like one
Okay.
is just cultural, the other one is very political, but
Gotcha.
I guess
All right.
both. Anyway,
Okay. All
Jules
right.
LeBron. Thank you, Laura Pursley, in the chat for telling me
Gotcha.
Jules LeBron. That's the name of
Perfect.
the
All right. Good.
influencer.
College football or NFL?
College.
I don't care much about either, so sure, college.
There you go.
All right.
Actually, specifically college, because the NFL is not doing right by the CTE folks, from what I understand.
Oh yeah, they're not doing right by a lot of people, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right. Summer concerts or music festivals?
Oh. Concerts.
Concerts inside specifically. I don't want to be outside with a lot of
Okay.
people.
Concerts inside with seats, and I'll tell you why that made me chuckle.
With seats.
So, this is a very long story. I'll try to be quick because I know they want us to be quick about this for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, um, so very long story short, been listening to a lot of Orville Peck lately. And if you don't know him, look him up. He's really good. Super interesting guy. My wife clued into me listening to a lot of Orville Peck and saw that he's coming to LA to play. But he's going to a place to play where it's standing room only, and it's outside. And I was like, I would love to go see him, sweetie, but I am not standing up outside for a concert. I'm just not doing that anymore.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
hey, you kids, get off my lawn.
That's sort of like I'm not standing in line for the club either.
Oh
No,
yeah, no,
we're not doing
Totally.
that anymore.
totally. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Got some summer vacation questions to wrap it up. Flying or road tripping?
Oh, flying.
It depends on where. Um,
Well, almost anywhere.
Well, some of the drives are really beautiful.
You know, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I've never been one for just endlessly driving down a highway. Beautiful though it might be. I know. I'm sorry. Hey, you kids, get off my
and
lawn.
hey, we each get to have our own
That's true.
feelings and opinions.
That's true.
Again, with the nostalgia, I'm gonna go road tripping. I come from a very driving family, and like I have many memories of road trips
All right.
from Missouri to Florida to Myrtle Beach to DC in the car, keeping myself entertained. Internationally, obviously, flying
Well,
away.
yes. All right.
Hanging out on the beach or hanging out by the pool?
Beach.
Beach.
Yeah. No question.
All right. And for the flying question, sub question, window seat or aisle?
Window.
Well, so I am a little bit of a seat geek, and I do some research before I fly. I figure out which seat on the plane is best, which is good, which has access, which hasn't. Also, and related, and maybe this is TMI, I have a very small bladder. So that factors
As we
into the
learned during
equation.
the live show.
Yeah, well, look, I was 2 beers in, man, and all you need is beers to make me go. Also, they had a speaker in the bathroom, and I didn't miss anything, but that's a whole different thing.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, so it's situational. Truly, it is. It is situational.
I'm Windows always. Not to be too dark for a moment, although I had to switch to aisle for a couple of years because I had a really bad situation on a plane where sitting on a window, some dude like tried to attack me while I was asleep. And so that
Really?
freaked me out for several years. Yeah.
blame you.
And I had to
Oh my
have him
God.
arrested when we landed. It was a whole thing.
Wow.
But like, so I switched to aisles for a while after that because I felt trapped by the windows, but now I'm kind of back to doing windows again.
All right. Good.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
Poll.
That's it. There's no poll on this
we're
one,
not
right? There's no
doing a
poll.
poll.
No, well, there's no poll on this or that, right? It's either you're in or out.
Okay.
That's,
All
at
right.
least
Fair,
that's my
fair, fair.
experience. I don't even know. What do I know? I'm just a
Yeah,
host.
yeah. Well, we have opinions. We have strong ones.
Yes,
See
we do.
how quickly we answered many of
Yes,
those
we do.
questions.
Yep.
Yes. All right, that is it for us today. Thank you to everybody who joined on the YouTube live stream. We appreciate you as always. We'll be off on Monday for Labor Day, but I will be back on Tuesday with Matt Levin. And until then, you can send us your comments, your questions, your suggestions, your answers to the Make Me Smart question. We are at 508 UB Smart, or you can email us at makemesmart@marketplace.org.
I will just say that the YouTube chat is pissed. There's no poll. Let me just tell you, they are pissed. Make Me Smart is produced by Courtney Berg. Sacred today's episode was engineered by Charlton Thorpe. That's pretty funny.
The team behind our Friday game is Emily McCune, Jamila Huxtable, and Antoinette Brock. Marissa Cabrera is our senior producer. Bridget Bodner is the director of podcasts. And Francesca Levy is the executive director of digital and on demand. And I will see if I can get the cat in the last few seconds. I don't know where he is. Everyone's asking. Where's the cat?
Couldn't tell
Oh,
you.
here he comes.
Hurry, hurry,
He
hurry.
was hiding under the bed.
There he
There's
is.
the cat,
Good deal.
everyone.
All right. Perfect. Oh, he is not.